Welcome back to our channel. Today is a beautiful day to dive into the scandalous world of Los Angeles fashion and family feuds. The upcoming drama is absolutely explosive, with Ridge and Bill heading for a violent collision, while Sheila unleashes a terrifying new psychological game on the Finnegans. Hello, I'm Emma Bennett from the B&B Spoilers YouTube channel. Let's get right into it. The tension at Forrester Creations is reaching a boiling point, and Ridge Forrester is right at the center of the inferno. In the highly anticipated the 10th of July 2026 episode, Ridge continues his relentless campaign to force Elektra Forrester to dump Will Spencer. The dressmaker is not holding back, aggressively harping on the young designer and issuing severe ultimatums. Ridge looks Elektra dead in the eye and audaciously claims that Forresters and Spencers simply do not mix. It is a staggering display of hypocrisy coming from a man whose own stepdaughter, Hope, was married to a Spencer, and whose own daughter, Steffi, shares a beautiful child, Kelly Spencer, with Liam. Ridge conveniently suffers from selective amnesia whenever it suits his narrative, completely ignoring the fact that Spencer blood is already permanently woven into the Forrester family tree. But Ridge's hypocritical tirade does not stop there. He takes things a step further by painting Will Spencer as a violent, uncontrollable monster. Ridge frantically warns Elektra that Will could turn his aggression on her, citing the fact that Will has punched RJ Forrester twice. While physical violence is never the answer, Ridge's logic is incredibly flawed and biased. Let us not forget that RJ deliberately trespassed at Will's beach house, ignored multiple demands to leave, and actively instigated the confrontation. Yes, Will crossed the line with the subsequent hits, but Ridge trying to brand Will as a dangerous abuser is Ridge. This is the same Ridge Forrester who once recruited his brother Thorne, barged into Bill Spencer's private home uninvited, and literally threw Dollar Bill off a balcony. If we apply Ridge's own twisted logic, does that mean he is just as likely to hurl Brooke Logan off a balcony in a fit of rage? The double standards are absolutely glaring, and fans are practically screaming at their screens for Elektra to stand her ground. Elektra is trapped in an impossible dilemma, backed into a corner by the towering, intimidating presence of her family's patriarch. Ridge is weaponizing his authority to control her personal life, completely disregarding her genuine feelings for Will. One can only hope that Elektra finally snaps, looks Ridge in the eye, and declares that if this is how the Forresters operate, she wants no part of it. She needs to tell Ridge that she will stop seeing Will, not because Will is a monster, but because Will does not deserve the toxic, manipulative circus that the Forrester family brings into his life. Elektra's breaking point is rapidly approaching, and when she finally shatters, the collateral damage will be catastrophic. Meanwhile, the catalyst for all this misplaced Forrester outrage, RJ, is recovering from his latest brawl. RJ wakes up from a nap, nursing his bruised ribs and battered ego, only to find Ridge and Eric Forrester hovering over him. Eric has stopped by to check on his grandson, and his presence only amplifies the gravity of the situation. RJ, playing the victim card to absolute perfection, recounts the altercation with Will, conveniently leaving out his own smug instigation. As Ridge listens to RJ's exaggerated tale of woe, you can literally see the anger bubbling up inside him. The sight of his bruised son, combined with Eric's quiet disappointment, sends Ridge into a complete tailspin. He gets entirely worked up, his protective instincts morphing into blind, vengeful fury. Fueled by rage, Ridge decides he is going to make a massive stand against those terrible, awful, no-good Spencers. He storms out of the Forrester mansion and marches straight over to the House of Logan to confront his ultimate nemesis, Bill Spencer. When Ridge bursts through the doors, the tension is thick enough to cut with a knife. Bill, riding high on the runaway success of Hope's defection and the relaunch of the Logan brand, is in no mood to be lectured. Dollar Bill flashes that trademark smug smirk, fully prepared to provoke the dressmaker. Bill knows exactly which buttons to push, taunting Ridge about Forrester's crumbling empire and Will's absolute dominance over RJ. This is a clash of the titans, a high-stakes showdown where decades of bitter rivalry explode to the surface. Neither man is willing to back down, and this verbal bloodbath threatens to escalate into a full-blown corporate war. Across town, a completely different kind of warfare is being waged. Sheila, the undisputed queen of manipulation, is refusing to back down until she gets exactly what she wants. She pops up unexpectedly at Deacon Sharp's apartment, her eyes locked onto Taylor Hayes like a predator stalking its prey. Sheila is not there for pleasantries. She immediately corners Taylor and grills her about their deal. She demands to know if Taylor has spoken to Steffi about allowing her into the family. Sheila's ultimate goal is supervised visitation with her son Finn and her grandson Hayes. She is using her leverage over Deacon's divorce to force Taylor into doing her dirty work. Taylor, visibly uncomfortable but trying to maintain her professional composure, looks at the reformed villain and delivers a harsh dose of reality. Taylor insists that what Sheila is asking for is absolutely impossible. Steffi will never, under any circumstances, agree to let Sheila near her children. But Sheila is not a woman who takes no for an answer. Despite Taylor's grim prognosis, Sheila makes a shocking move. She picks up the pen and signs the divorce papers. Just like that, her marriage to Deacon Sharp is officially over. By finalizing the split, Sheila proves that she has accepted Deacon's desire to build a life with Taylor. However, she fully expects Taylor to keep her end of the bargain. Sheila's signature is not a surrender, it is a calculated investment, and she expects a massive return. Not content to wait for Taylor's intervention, Sheila takes matters into her own hands. She drops in unannounced on Finn at the hospital, cornering the handsome doctor in his sterile environment. Finn is immediately on guard, his protective instincts flaring as he faces his biological mother. But Sheila plays her cards masterfully. She softens her tone, insisting that she is not a threat to him or his family. She drops the bombshell that she has officially signed the divorce papers, proving that she has accepted Deacon and Taylor's romance. She uses this as evidence of her personal growth and stability, desperately trying to convince Finn that she is a changed woman who only wants a sliver of a connection with her flesh and blood. Finn is deeply conflicted. As a doctor and a man of empathy, he wants to believe in rehabilitation, but as a husband and father, he knows the horrific history of the woman standing before him. Finn questions his biological mother's true motives, asking if she signed those papers knowing she might get absolutely nothing in return. Sheila insists that her love for him is unconditional, but Finn is not easily swayed. He firmly warns Sheila that Steffi is never going to be okay with her visitation requests. He explicitly lays out the reality that Steffi views her as a clear and present danger. But Sheila, ever the relentless manipulator, begs Finn for just one thing, to get her a mere 2 minutes of Steffi's time so she can explain her point of view. It is a dangerous, audacious request that places Finn in an impossible position. Meanwhile, Taylor is fulfilling her end of the dangerous bargain. She arrives at Forrester Creations to speak with Steffi about Sheila's outrageous request. This timing could not possibly be worse. Steffi is already pacing her office like a caged tiger, trapped in an angry victim mode after being completely blindsided by Hope's traitorous defection to Logan. Steffi is drowning in massive corporate damage control, her nerves frayed to the absolute limit. Into this explosive environment walks Taylor, carrying a ticking time bomb. When Taylor tentatively brings up the idea of supervised visitation for Sheila, the reaction is going to be catastrophic. Steffi is going to be absolutely appalled that her own mother would even entertain such a horrific request. The very idea that Taylor would bring Sheila's demands to her doorstep, especially during a massive corporate crisis, will feel like a profound betrayal. If Taylor tries to justify it by explaining that this was the cost of securing Deacon's divorce, Steffi is going to lose her mind. Steffi does not care about Deacon's happiness, and she certainly does not care about Taylor's romantic bliss if it comes at the expense of her family's safety. This conversation is destined to end in a screaming match, driving a massive wedge between mother and daughter at the exact moment they need each other most. The fallout from these confrontations spills over into Friday, July 10th. After facing Steffi's unyielding wrath, Taylor is left alone to ponder the terrifying reality of her situation. She begins to seriously wonder whether Sheila has truly changed or if this entire reformed act is just a sophisticated ruse. These fears are violently amplified when Taylor receives a mysterious, chilling phone call. Is it an update on Sheila's latest sinister movements? Has Sheila already begun to retaliate against Steffi's inevitable rejection? Taylor is paralyzed by the sudden, horrifying realization that by pushing Steffi, she may have inadvertently triggered Sheila's dark side to emerge once again. The dread is palpable, and Taylor knows that if Sheila snaps, the blood will be on her hands. As the week draws to a close, Finn finds himself violently yanked into the middle of this toxic tug-of-war. Caught between his biological mother's desperate pleas and his wife's ironclad boundaries, Finn is forced to make a definitive stand. On Friday, he makes it crystal clear his absolute loyalty is to his wife Steffi. Period. He refuses to let Sheila's psychological warfare destroy his marriage. But just when we think the battle lines are permanently drawn, a wild card remains in play. We are long overdue for some Lee Finnegan scenes. Lee has a complicated, often ruthless approach to protecting her son. Wouldn't it be the ultimate, jaw-dropping twist if Finn's fierce adoptive mother actually has a kind word for Sheila? If Lee somehow finds common ground with Sheila over their shared love for Finn, it would shatter Steffi's entire world and flip the script completely. Will Ridge's violent threats push Elektra into RJ's arms, or will Bill destroy Forrester's empire? And what happens when Sheila's patience runs out? Drop your theories and subscribe.